Have you ever looked up at the night sky and noticed that the moon doesn't always look the same? Sometimes it appears as a thin crescent. Sometimes half of it seems to be glowing. And sometimes it becomes a beautiful, bright, full moon. But here's the fascinating question. Does the moon actually change its shape? The answer is no. The moon remains almost the same spherical object throughout the month. What changes is how much of its sunlit side we can see from Earth. This changing appearance is called the phases of the moon. To understand the answer, we need to take a journey through space and look at the relationship between the Sun, Earth, and Moon. Before we understand the phases, there's one important fact we need to know. The moon does not produce its own visible light. The bright moon we see in the night sky is actually sunlight reflected from the moon's surface. Think about a ball in a dark room. If you shine a flashlight on the ball, one side becomes illuminated while the other side remains dark. At any given moment, the sun illuminates approximately half of the moon. But from Earth, we don't always see the entire illuminated half, and that's the key to understanding the moon's phases.
The moon orbits Earth, completing one orbit in about 27.3 days, relative to the distant stars.
As the moon travels around Earth, and because sunlight always illuminates half of the moon, the portion we can see from Earth also changes. When the moon is positioned between Earth and the sun, the side facing us is mostly dark. This is called a new moon. From Earth, the moon may seem to disappear, but it hasn't gone anywhere. Its illuminated side is simply facing away from us.
As the moon continues moving around Earth, a small illuminated portion becomes visible. This is the waxing crescent.
As the moon moves farther along its orbit, more of its sunlit side becomes visible from Earth.
Eventually, we see about half of the moon illuminated. This phase is called the first quarter. The moon keeps moving, and more of its sunlit side becomes visible. Now we see a gibbous moon. The illuminated portion continues to grow until almost the entire side facing Earth is bright. Finally, we see almost the entire illuminated side. That's the full moon. A full moon occurs when Earth is approximately between the sun and moon, allowing us to see almost all of the moon's sunlit side. A full moon doesn't mean the moon itself has suddenly become brighter. It's still simply reflecting sunlight. After the full moon, the visible illuminated portion begins to get smaller. Now the moon is waning.
When the illuminated portion grows, the moon is waxing. After the full moon, when the visible portion shrinks, the moon is waning. After the full moon, something changes. The visible illuminated portion begins to get smaller. Now the moon is waning. It goes from a full moon toward a half moon, and then toward a thin crescent. Eventually, we see about half of the moon illuminated again, but now it is the last quarter phase. The illuminated portion keeps shrinking until only a thin crescent remains. Finally, the moon reaches the new moon phase again, completing the cycle.
From new moon to full moon and back again, the moon follows a beautiful repeating cycle.
So how long does it take for the moon to go through all of these phases? From one new moon to the next, it takes approximately 29.5 days. This period is called a synodic month. The moon actually takes about 27.33 days to orbit Earth relative to the distant stars. So why do the phases take about 29.5 days? Because while the moon is orbiting Earth, Earth is also moving around the sun. The moon has to travel a little farther before the sun, Earth, and moon return to nearly the same alignment.
Here's another fascinating fact. At every moment, roughly half of the moon is illuminated by the sun.
So even when we see a thin crescent from Earth, almost half of the moon is still illuminated. Most of that light is simply hidden from our view. This means the moon's phases are not caused by Earth's shadow covering the moon. That's a very common misconception.
Earth's shadow is involved in something different. A lunar eclipse.
But here's another fascinating question. If the moon, Earth, and sun line up every month, why don't we get a lunar eclipse every full moon?
The reason is that the moon's orbit around Earth is slightly tilted compared with Earth's orbit around the sun. Because of this tilt, the moon usually passes a little above or below the exact line between Earth and the sun.
Only when the alignment is precise enough can Earth's shadow fall across the moon and create a lunar eclipse.
So a full moon and a lunar eclipse are not the same thing. A full moon happens regularly, but a lunar eclipse requires the right alignment. The moon isn't growing, it isn't shrinking, and it isn't physically changing its shape every night. Three worlds, one source of light, and a constantly changing view. That's the simple but amazing reason why the moon appears to change its shape. So the next time you look at the moon, remember that you're seeing a changing view of the same amazing world. And every month, this beautiful cosmic cycle begins again. If you enjoyed discovering the science behind the moon, subscribe and keep exploring the wonders of our universe with us.